Welcome students. Today we are here to study the digital image processing having the code EC703A. This is one of the elective paper of final year 7th semester. I am Kaushik Pal, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. Today our topic is Introduction to MATLAB and Image Processing. So we know image and how it may be processed and why it is required to be processed. But we should know the tools by which we will do this processing known as MATLAB. So that's why we should have an idea that how we will write the program in MATLAB to do a specific image processing task. So in the first part we have gone through several topics. Now we will recapitulate them and we will move forward. In the first part we have gone through what is digital image and what is pixel. So pixel was the smallest element of any digital image. Why digital image processing is so important, that was also described in the previous part. So what is digital image processing and why it is required, that has been described. Then introduction to MATLAB, its image processing toolbox and graphical user interface were described. After that, basic inbuilt functions for digital image processing has been discussed. So how to read, write, display, resize and rotate an image using several functions like imread, imwrite, imshow, imresize, imrotate. So they have been described in the previous part. In the next part we will go introduction to image histogram. Histogram is a very important parameter. We can perform more advanced image enhancement process using histograms. Before we cover this, we should probably cover what histograms are. So what is histogram? So what is a histogram? It's a measure the frequency or how often something occurs. Let's look a grayscale image for now, expressed as Hx equals to Q. X is an intensity 0 to 255 for 8 bits. That means for grayscale image. This tells us that we see the intensity value of X for a total of Q times. This is an image and corresponding histogram plot has been given. So here an example, take a look at these grayscale images. So there are 150 pixels with a gray level of around 10. So in the graph it has been plotted, and there are 1200 pixels with a gray of around 170, etc. So this is also have been plotted here. So some grayscale value and its histogram has been plotted here for this grayscale image. How do you create histogram in MATLAB? So the function is imhist. So im for image, hist for histogram. So imhist is the function within bracket im, that means on which we want to perform the histogram function or histogram operation. So im is the image here. So im is read by the function imread. After that imhist has been used. Assuming im is a grayscale image. If we want this to work with color images, we will have to display the histogram of each color channel, that means red, green, blue, separately by itself. So im hist, im colon comma colon comma 1. This is the histogram for red. Then im hist im colon comma 2. This is histogram for green. And the last one im hist im colon comma 3. This is histogram for blue. Here colon comma 1 means that we should grab every row and column from the red channel, blue channel or right channel, etc. In this example, as 1 has been given at the last, that means it is used for red channel. So in this channel, introduction to the image histogram has been continued. Here, grabbing all the pixels in any channel will produce a grayscale image which can be used for imhist. We can also call the histogram function by h equals to imhist im. So it will create a 256 element array where the I plus 1th element contains how often we see the grayscale I. Histogram give us a good insight on image contrast. If the histogram has too many values towards the left, image looks too dark. If the histogram has too many values towards the right, image is too bright. If the histogram has too many values in the middle, the image looks very washed out or very fade. Above these cases are when the image has bad contrast. A good image should have good contrast. That is, the histogram should have an equal number of pixels over the entire histogram. That means a flat histogram. If an image has bad contrast, we can try to correct it by doing histogram equalization. So histogram equalization is a very important process by which we can make the histogram a flat histogram. That means the histogram should have an equal number of pixels all over the entire image. So here we should try to make the image's histogram as flat as possible for good contrast. So we should stretch the histogram out. For the probability, we should, if you divide each histogram entry by the total number of entries, so this form a probability density function PDF, which has also been discussed earlier. Histogram equalization 6, to modify the probability density function so that all possible events, that means all possible pixels, are equally likely to occur. How do we perform histogram equalization? We should use the process HistEq. So HIST EQ. So hist for histogram, EQ for equalization. So in the bracket on which we will want to perform the histogram equalization. So it should be stored in out. So out equals to HistEq im. That means im given by imrate function. What about for color images? We will have to perform histogram equalization on each channel, that means red, green, blue individually, then merge together to have the complete histogram for that color image. R equals to im colon comma 1, G equals to im colon comma 2, and B equals to im colon comma 3. So this is the three channels for red, green and blue. Then out within bracket colon comma 1 hist eq R. Similarly out colon comma 2 hist eq G, and then out colon comma 3 hist eq B. So first one is for red, then green, then blue. Next, we should move to age detection. So after histogram equalization, there is a very important term which is very widely used, is age detection. Nowadays, age detection is very much popular due to different type of biomedical as well as different type of pattern recognition process. That means if we want to do the face recognition or if we want to do the fingerprint recognition process, so here age detection is a very important parameter. Not only that, if we want to perform the segmentation, that means if we want to partition or if we want to subdivide the entire image into small portions and to identify a particular object, so in that case this age detection process is very much important. So ages are certain discontinuities appearing in images. Certain jumps in intensity or color in the images is known as ages. So this is the definition of ages. How can we detect ages? Very simple. So we have to find the derivative of each point in that particular image. When slope is very high, that means you found an age, but derivatives is only for 1D signals. What about for 2D signals? You must take the gradient, that means derivative in both the x as well as y direction. You combine both of these directions to create your final derivative functions to have the final age detection. So how do I take the derivative? We perform convolution but with a different mask corresponds to discrete approximation of the derivative. Two possible masks we can use here has been given. So first one is 1 1 1 0 0 0 minus 1 minus 1 1 minus 1. This is known as pre-width 3 cross 3 mask, as 3 and 3 rows and 3 columns are there, so it is given by 3 cross 3. So the first one is for pre-width mask and the second one is for Sobel mask, which is given as 1 2 1 0 0 0 minus 1 minus 2 minus 1. So these masks detect changes in the horizontal direction. So if there are no changes, then sum of the pixels in 3 cross 3 neighborhood should have the same value, that means gradient equals to 0. That means if the average response of this mask is 0, that means there is no line, but if the average response of this mask are non-zero value, that means there must be some edges. So lots of masks are there: Sobel mask, Canny mask, Robert mask, DeWitt mask. So here we are just showing two masks. One is pre-width mask and another is Sobel mask. For pre-width mask, normal derivative has been used. For Sobel mask, puts more weight on the central pixels. How does detect horizontal changes? When you use this mask, if there is a change, there is a huge change above the zero line and below the zero line. So when performing correlations, it can detect horizontal changes. How do we detect vertical changes? Take a transpose of each mask. Transpose means interchange rows and columns of the mask, and we should use those masks to find out the corresponding vertical changes or vertical edges. So this is the process by which we can use some masks to either detect the horizontal edges or the vertical edges. How do we combine the horizontal and vertical gradient information? Remember from vector calculus, grad g mod of grad g equals to root over of del g by del x square plus del g by del y square to the power whole root. So we take the horizontal gradient image and square each term and do the same for the vertical gradient image also. Now add both images and square root them. This is our output image. How do we do in this MATLAB? So here create a Prewitt or Sobel horizontal mask. So we should use mask equals to F spatial within bracket Prewitt, or F, or another is mask equals to F spatial within quote Sobel. So first one is for Prewitt mask, another is for Sobel mask. So the vertical mask, mask 2 equals to mask transpose, that means transpose of the corresponding matrix. So convolve with each mask separately. Dx equals to im filter Im mask, dy equals to im filter Im mask 2. Find the overall magnitude. Mag equals to SQRT double of dx to the power 2 plus double of dy to the power 2. So this is the process by which we can find out the magnitude. We must cast images to double from square root function SQRT function. Now we have found the overall gradient. How do we find an actual edge? So threshold the particular image. What do we mean by threshold? Values greater than a threshold is an edge, that means white. Values less than the threshold are not edges, that means black. How do we detect edges in MATLAB? This is very easy. So we should write I equals to EDGE edge, im, that means on which we should perform the edge detection operation. Then the filter, that means the mask, either it may be Sobel, Prewitt, Robert, Canny. So you should write I equals to edge im Sobel. That means the Sobel method will be used here on the image Im, and it will detect the edge of Im and it will store in I. So if you use the Prewitt, it should be I equals to edge within bracket im comma Prewitt within quote. So we can pretty much ignore the previous slide, but I put that in there so you can see where it comes from. So you can see in MATLAB it's very easy to detect the edge using different type of mask. So these Sobel and Prewitt, these masks are already given in the MATLAB. So these are MATLAB inbuilt functions. You can also call the routines like this way also. So here I equals to edge in within quote Sobel comma thresh, or I equals to edge im comma within quote Prewitt comma thresh. I is specifies edges found in input, that means black and white or grayscale image. Im is the input image with edges to be found. Second parameter specifies the method of finding edges. Thresh, that means the threshold, determines the threshold for finding edges. If not specified, threshold will be found automatically. How do we use the threshold variable? Choose an intensity, that means suppose 128. Any gradient value is greater than 128 will be labeled white and all others will be labeled by black. So this is the purpose of using thresh or threshold. Any gradient value less than 128, I have already mentioned, is labeled as black. This thresh is between 0 and 1. So take your threshold and divide it by 255 to use. That is I equals to age IM pre-width 128 divided by 255. Output image will give you a black and white image. White is an edge, black is not an edge. This only works for grayscale or black and white images. To find edges for color images, convert the color image to a grayscale image or black and white image. So for that we should use the method RGB to gray. So if the image is in color, we have to convert it into its equivalent grayscale image. We should use the function which is inbuilt function in the MATLAB, RGB to gray. So here we should use gray equals to RGB to gray in. That means we are converting the image IM which was in the color form, that should be converted into grayscale image and should be stored in the variable GRAY gray. So RGB to gray converts a color image into black and white or grayscale image. Doing I equals to R plus G plus B divided by 3, each color pixel is the average of the red, green and blue components. So now we have gone through some basics of this MATLAB using image processing and introduction to MATLAB using image processing. We should go some program, or we should see some example, some program written in the MATLAB window to find out the image processing applications. So here we should see two programs. The first program is we should convert a particular image from a color image into its equivalent grayscale image. So we should take some color image as the input, and the output we should have some black and white or some grayscale images. So to convert some color image to its equivalent grayscale image, we should write some program and we will also see the corresponding output. So here this is the first program. This is a complete program. So to have some idea on the file, so convert a RGB into grayscale image and display it. So first we have to open the corresponding M file in the editor of the MATLAB. Then we have to type the corresponding this program. Then we have to save the program file. We can give any name like program 1 or first program. So then .m. So this .m means it will indicate that the program file is a MATLAB program file. So we have to save. Suppose we can save this program as program1.m. So first line is, as we have already mentioned in the MATLAB, we need not to indicate or we need not to say any type of variable. We just initialize, we have to initialize them. So here we are writing p equals to imread d :cat.jpg within quote. So this is used to read the corresponding images. So here we are giving the name of the image as cat and the extension of the image as JPEG, and that is stored in the D drive of the computer. So we are giving the entire path to show the corresponding images. We have to be sure that the image should be in the corresponding path. So using imread, we are just reading the corresponding cat image file and we are storing it into the variable p. Now we are just writing k equals to RGB to gray p. So p contains the color image. Now we are converting that color image using RGB to gray function to its equivalent grayscale images, and we are storing it into k variable. So that's why we are writing K equals to RGB to gray P. Now if we want to display, so we should use figure to have multiple images. Now we should write im show P, that means to show the image before conversion. That means we have taken the input and stored in P, and we have converted the image, color image, into its black and white image or grayscale image and stored in K. So if we want to show both the input image and the processed image, we should use this figure, then mshow. So first figure mshow P, then title original image. Title will display the corresponding string over the image, so that's why you are writing title original image or input image. So here it will show original image, and after that we are writing figure mshow K. So this K will display the processed image. So this is to show the image after this conversion. So for this we can show the image before the conversion, as well as we can show the image after conversion. If we don't use the figure but only use mshow, it will show one image at a time, not two images simultaneously. So if we take another image, suppose bird.jpg, similarly we have to do the same process. First we have to take a variable, in that we have to store using the function known as imread. We have to give the path, the name of the corresponding file, and with its extension. Then we have to take another variable. Into that we have to store the corresponding images after conversion using the RGB to gray function. Again we have to use the figure, then mshow P1, that means to show the image before conversion, with the title original image 2, and we have to show the image K1 using the mshow function, which will show the image after conversion with the title grayscale image 2. So here we can see that we are very much familiar to mshow, imread, RGB to gray, figure, title. So these are all the inbuilt functions which we have already used, and by this we have converted a RGB to grayscale image, and we have also displayed this. So this is the program. So I will say to go through the entire program once again very carefully. So this is our very first program in MATLAB for doing some image processing operations. Here we have took color image and converted the particular image into its equivalent grayscale image, and we have displayed both before conversion and after conversion. Now if we see the output of this program, that will be given in the next slide. Here we can see some sets of images. So at the left column all the images are in color form, and in the right side all the images in the grayscale form. That means we have converted some color images to its equivalent grayscale. First example, we have taken a color image of a cat, and that has been converted to its equivalent grayscale image. The second example we have taken here as a bird, and the color image of the bird has been converted into its grayscale image. The third image we have taken is a flower, which has not given in the program, but we have taken this as a third example. So in the left we are having the original image, and after using the programming by which we are converting this color image to its equivalent grayscale image, we can have in the right side last image. So this is the output of the previous program. So hope now students you are getting some idea or some clear idea about the image processing techniques using MATLAB programming language. So this is our second examples of a MATLAB programming for image processing techniques. So this is a program detection of edges of an image. That means we are going to detect some edges of a particular image. So here we will take one example. We will write down the program. We will explain each and every line of this program, and we will also see the corresponding output. In the previous section where we discussed different edge detection techniques, there we already know that four type of filter process or filtering technique or image edge detection technique has been used. One is Prewitt, next one is Robert, then Sobel, then Canny. So these type of four masks that may be either Prewitt mask or Robert mask or Sobel mask or Canny mask is being used to detect the edge. So they have already given in the corresponding MATLAB function. So first we should clear the corresponding command window and the workspace. So that's why we are using CLC to clear the window. Then we are taking a variable p and we are writing imread equals to :d coin.jpg. That means we are just reading an image whose name is coin with extension JPEG and it was stored in drive D. So the image coin is now in the variable p by using imread function. We should use now the function which is known as edge, EDGE. So edge is the function by which we will find out all the edges. But which method we should use, that will be mentioned either by Prewitt, Robert, Sobel or Canny. So here we are taking four variables P1, P2, P3 and P4, and we are storing different edge by using different edge detection technique. In P1 we are storing the edge using Prewitt. In P2 we are storing the edge using Robert. In P3 we are storing the edge using Sobel, and lastly in P4 we are storing the edge in Canny. So the process of writing this is P1 equals to EDGE edge within bracket P comma Prewitt. So P is the variable in which the image has been stored. So we are doing the operation on that particular P. So that's why we are writing P. Then within code the corresponding filter process either may be Prewitt, Robert, Sobel or Canny. Then we have to display all of them. So that's why we should write figure. Now first, if we want to display the input image or the original image, we should write imshow p, and we may give the title as input image. That means the original or the input image will display with the title mention input image. Now if we want to just show the corresponding others edge, so we should write imshow p1, then we should give the title edge with Prewitt, then write down the figure, then imshow p2, again writing the title edge with Robert, then figure, imshow p3, title edge with Sobel, figure, then imshow p4, title edge with Canny. Now by this we should display all the images P1, P2, P3, P4 to show the edge with Prewitt, the edge with Robert, the edge with Sobel and the edge with Canny. So this is a program by which we can use the edge detection technique through MATLAB programming language. So students, I will say to see the program again. So it will be much more clear if you go through the entire program once again. So hope you have gone through the entire program once again. Now it will be much more clear if we see the corresponding output of this program, and then we will also discuss corresponding output. So moving forward to the next slide, we can see the corresponding output of this program. So this is the output of the edge detection program. In the two slides, we will see the corresponding output. The input image or the original image has been shown here at the upper left side, and the right left side the edge with pre-weight, and in the bottom the edge with robot has been given here. So you have to see it very carefully. There is a little difference, but they are not same. So in case of pre-weight, it is very clearly seen the edges, but the internal edges are not so clear. But in case of robot, some more details has been given here. So you have to see very minutely or very carefully that in case of robot, it is a little bit more detail than the pre-weight. So hope you have seen this. Now we will move forward to the next slide to see the Sobel and Canny. So first you have to remember the original image, the corresponding edge after using the pre-weight, and the edge after using the robot edge detection technique. Now we will move forward for Canny and Sobel. So this is the input image also has been given, and the corresponding edge with Canny and Sobel has also been given here. So here we can see the edge with Sobel has a little bit more detail than the pre-weight and robot. But in case of Canny, it is much more detailed than each and every method. That means Canny has the more edge detection capability than pre-weight, robot and Sobel. So if we want to detail edge detection, then we should use Canny. But in case of Canny, it is sometimes it's too much edges has been there, so the image may be little bit unclear to us, or little bit very not clear to us. So that's why we should prefer in some cases the Sobel edge detection technique. So it is better than pre-weight and robot. So that's why Sobel edge detection technique is much more popular and widely used. But if we want a detailed edge detection, then we should use the Canny. So here the three example, the input image and the corresponding edge with Canny and edge with Sobel has been given here. So this was the output of the previous edge detection programming edge detection programming using MATLAB. So students, hope you have an idea about the basics of image processing using MATLAB programming languages. So how different functions are being used, how we can use different variables to store all these processed image and the unprocessed image, how we can read them, how we can display them, how we can write them, and how we can process them. So we have gone through some basics ideas about all the basics image processing using this MATLAB. So thank you. If you have any type of queries, my email address and phone number has been mentioned here. You can ask me anytime. Thank you very much.